So obviously, like, it was a long time ago. You guys were kids and stuff like that. But when did it kick in for you guys, like, through the years that this thing just was not gonna stop? It was never gonna die.
I keep waiting. Seriously, I'm like, every year, I'm like, really? We're still going. This is great. So thank you all. We owe it to you. Thank you. Obviously, without you guys, we wouldn't be who we are. So we're totally indebted to you. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And I'm certainly humbled, I think, as the original cast is, that we got to play characters that had such an amazing impact on so many people's lives. Not only in New Hampshire, but all around the world. It's truly been a blessing in so many ways, so we're so grateful to you. So thank you, and it's a huge honor.
Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with what David said. I also think there was a resurgence because, the show ran for however long it ran, 30 years, but things quieted down for a little bit. Like, went on with other seasons and we weren't involved. I think when the show got on Netflix and they start showing all the series, that there was a kind of a resurgence, and we started doing Comic-Cons maybe in 2015 or something, or 2012, I think was the first Comic-Con I went back to, and I was like, oh, they still remember us. Okay, that's wild. But now they're grown. That's weird. That's strange because you guys were kids. I mean, y'all used to be so shy. You would come up to us and they'd be like, "Go take a picture with that." You're like, "I'm not going over there." It was like, it was weird. And we gave you guys love, and we were like, "It's okay." And your parents would, at that time, because the show was crazy, you guys would wait 4 hours in line outside, around the block in the sun, and you finally get in there, and your parents would be like, "Go take a picture with them," and you wouldn't even look at me. It was weird. You're like, I'm not. It was just too much for you. But then you walk around so excited. But now you guys are grown with these stories that they amaze me. I mean, I didn't realize the impact we had on you guys, on people, until I got to hear it from your own voices. Until you start telling us these stories about how we were there for you in your lives, and I've heard so many amazing stories. I mean, like everything from I'm a Marine because I wanted to be like you, or I was homeless when I was a kid, and your show is the only thing that got me through, or all these different stories. I met a kid who had brittle bone disease, and when he was younger, and he couldn't play with his friends. He couldn't do anything. So his mom took him to a karate studio. He couldn't fight, obviously, but they taught him katas. And he got so good at doing these katas that it built the muscles around his bones. And now this guy owns 2 karate studios. So, like, these are the kind of stories we hear, and it's so heartwarming, So thank you guys, and we're glad we're still here. Hey.
It's funny, you bring up the streaming thing. So obviously, the show hit Netflix and took off again. So I have a nephew who was 4 at the time when it hit Netflix. I just remember getting a FaceTime video from him. He's like, Uncle DJ. He's like, because he saw my Facebook, he's like, can you call the Power Rangers for me? Because I had pictures with you. I had pictures with, Jason and Amy Jo and all that stuff. And I was like, buddy, I don't know him. I just go meet him. He's like, I'll go meet the Power Rangers. So 3 years later, I've had to load him up. He has all the Zords, the helmets, like when they're doing the lightning stuff, he has everything. And he's another one. So a 4-year-old in, these day and age, fully into Power Rangers. He doesn't care about like some of the other teams. It's Mighty Morphin and Zeo, basically up until you left the show, and that was it. So it's almost like timeless. I mean, I guess dinosaurs help, right? Dinosaurs, little boys, big deal, but
And martial arts.
Martial arts, yeah, kicks and stuff like that. So, all right, so remember, we're gonna get to audience questions. I want to ask mine first. It's the perks of having the microphone, right? So, No. Have a moment. So one of the storylines from the show that super kind of bummed me out. So obviously I celebrate the entire catalog of all the Power Rangers. My favorite Ranger design is the gold Zeo Ranger. I think it's the coolest looking suit they've ever done. And at one point in time, it seemed like Billy was going to be the Gold Ranger. Fair enough. I mean, you can't argue with that, right? So I'm just saying, so while that was, I don't know how they did the scripts because obviously, you know, you had cut footage and I'm sure it was kind of hectic, but was there ever a time where they were talking about actually paying that off and you actually being able to put the suit on it and actually be the Gold Ranger, or did you know from the jump that it was just like a red herring to get to Jason becoming the Gold Ranger?
Yeah, I mean, from the get-go, one of our executive producers said, just so you know, you'll no longer be a Ranger. So it was never in the cards. But then they kept teasing that Billy was going to be the Gold Ranger. It was never supposed to be Austin coming back, Jason coming back as the Gold Ranger. That happened later. So they were trying to figure it out. It went through several phases of who's going to be the Gold Ranger. But yeah, Billy, it was never in the cards for poor Billy. So, but yeah, I didn't understand why they really put a lot of effort into making it seem like he was going to be the Gold Ranger. But
It's exciting.
yeah, but it's an awful tease. It was an awful tease, yeah.
No, it wasn't awful tease. I mean, because no offense, Billy was my favorite growing up. I was the nerdy kid with computers and stuff. I talked to you about this one year. I know. They showing the Billy Cranston panel. No, but I'll take it back. So, my favorite monster from the show was actually your birthday episode, Nasty Night. I love the Nasty. I think it's just the dopest looking monster they've ever done. But my question for you, so obviously you guys have had a ton of like merch over the years, figures, yada. One thing we've never got, I'm not sure, you probably don't know why, but I'm gonna ask you anyway. Why can't we buy the axe? Like you had the best weapon out of all the, that thing was insane. I mean, I'm sure you'd love to get a bunch of those to sign, right? I mean, those things, it looks so killer with the signature on the blade.
Look, I'm going to say there's kind of a pattern. I don't have a helmet. I don't have all the pops. I don't have my axe. So it's it's kind of interesting. I don't know why. And they never made my Halloween costume.
They never did your helmet.
Not my helmet, not my axe.
You're gonna be the only helmet I don't have.
The metallic pop. I don't have that one.
Oh, the metallic one, the GameStop one?
Yeah, I don't have that. I don't have they never made my Halloween costume. So if you were a Black Ranger when you were a kid, it's because your mom made you a costume, which is unfortunate because there were a lot of kids that wanted to be a Black Ranger. So
yeah, that was my brother's name was Zach, and you were his favorite, obviously, name thing. So yeah, same thing, could never find Black Ranger or anything. So okay. Well, and just because I like toys and Shuffa and stuff like that. So did you guys get to keep anything? Is there anything you guys snagged from back in the day? I know it was kind of weird because like not everything was actually there. Like, did you guys actually get to hold the weapons and like the blasters and stuff? Or was that all just, they never had American versions?
I mean, I'll say probably the reason why they don't make his axe is because it's so big.
It is huge, yeah.
I mean, it'd be gigantic.
It's okay.
I mean, they should make it, but I'm just saying it would be a very big toy.
That's fine. PayPal does pay in 4 now. We can all handle this.
there's a lance, please.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
all
got-
in my
it's
bar.
it's
I have a
big.
lance and a sword and daggers and all this stuff. I just don't have a bow or an axe. It's
Have
frustrating.
they done the bow?
They haven't done the bow. There's a company in I was just talking. There's a company in Japan that's doing high-end ones. And they did both the Jason's weapons, but supposedly they are doing the axe event. The axe is on the table for the next one. It's gonna be expensive, but so
Okay.
hopefully it happens. But
They did make a small
Yeah.
yeah, the toy one.
A kid brought it. They gave it to me last week.
Oh, awesome.
In fact, it's funny because they didn't really give us anything. They didn't give us the toys. It's crazy that I never had a Megazord until like 15 years later, and that was because a fan gave me the Megazord. It was like, here, you have this. It was like, and I was so fun to play with. And what a cool toy. It was like all these puzzles, like, put them together and like put it together. It was like, I still have it now. My kids got to play with it, so that was cool.
Nice. Yeah, I talked to Austin once about it. He's like, yeah, it's like, we couldn't get toys, we couldn't get Zords, and we couldn't get anything. It's unfortunate.
They didn't give us anything, unfortunately, even as time goes on.
Even when they start putting your heads on the figures, like.
I would think, every time they release something, they should at least out of courtesy at least send us at least one. But no, I mean, we have so many pops, so many figures. Now, what is it, Reignite Ignition, whatever?
Yeah, the Playmate stuff
They
just
just
dropped.
came
so
out with new stuff as well.
Megazord
but
like this big. It's
Yeah,
nice.
so
I just
no,
finished building it
nothing.
yesterday.
Yeah, they didn't give us, there might have been one time. I don't remember.
I get the comic books.
Well, we get the comic books. Thank you,
Yeah.
Boom Studios.
Thank you, Boom Studios.
If you haven't,
Yeah.
They're
if you
so
haven't been
good.
reading the Power Ranger comic books, please check them out.
It's definitely
I'm
cool.
happy to sponsor Boom Studios.
Yeah, let me get into this. So last one, and then so you guys said you get the comics. The Boom. If you haven't read the Boom run, it's phenomenal, right? Are you guys happy with how your characters kind of tailed up?
Yeah,
Like, went in the books?
I'm happy I'm not at the peace treaty anymore.
Yeah.
I'm definitely excited about being an Omega Ranger. I think that is very cool.
That
And
was
then
cool.
the story concept of that, I think that's actually what I prefer that.
Yeah, the Mastodon Troopers, Draken Bachelor,
Yeah,
were sick
love
looking.
that.
Never got that figure either. Thanks, Hasbro.
And then as well, Walter and I both got to write comic book stories about our characters that just came out last year. So you can buy those comic books as well.
Yeah, Power Rangers Across the Morphin Grid.
Correct. So it's an anthology, and there's stories by us and 3 other stories in there as well that you can check out. And we got to have really firsthand experience about writing it, choosing the artists, helping the artists figure out the colors and how everything looks. So it was a really cool, exciting process, at least for me. I can't speak
Yeah,
for you.
it was very cool. I did a day in the life of Zach, which was fun and lighthearted. David did an all-encompassing, amazing story. It was very cool. So, what?
I did a what thing?
All-encompassing. Like,
What?
shut up, David.
I literally can't understand what you're saying. And
It was a great story. How about that?
It's very all-encompassing.
is that all-encompassing? Oh, okay.
Awesome. So, yeah,
I'm
so,
getting old, so bear with me.
so now you have 3 of you guys have all done basically runs in the books. Yeah, and they're great stories. They're like all the continuation stuff. Even like the new game was fun, so it was nice. So, okay, enough of me blabbing because I could do this for literally 4 days in a row without sleeping. So, who has a question, sir?
I think we're kind of like cousins, right? So it's like, we're family because nobody has experienced what we've experienced like us, our story. But we all live in different places. We all have our families. We kind of going on with our lives. But we see each other at Comic-Cons often. I think David and Amy see each other a lot more than I see Amy. But anytime I see Amy, it's like, come here, my friend. It's like, it's all that love. So it's awesome. Well, we had a couple of stunt coordinators, and they had their specialties. So they would break down, for those of us that were not martial artists, they would break down basic common forms, punches and kicks and some throws and that kind of thing. Austin had a background in martial arts. I had a background in Isshin-Ryu. And then when I had my own form of martial arts, hip hop Keto. So that is not a non-existent martial art that I kind of created with the help of the other stunt guys. We would come up with cool ideas, and then my dancing ability and my flipping ability, I was able to put things together and create things that were interesting and kind of cool. The concept of that came from like capoeira, like from some of Jackie Chan's like drunken style kung fu, Muhammad Ali's shuffle, like just the idea of distraction and evasion and with a style. David did martial arts he learned a lot with the stunt guys as well, and Austin Jafer. Well, I'll let him tell the story. You tell the story, David.
I would just say more so Amy Jo Johnson and myself, we were competitive gymnasts growing up, so we really brought our gymnastics to set. And before we started filming, we kind of rehearsed with the stunt team and our stunt coordinator. And so I just always say they taught us, me and Amy Jo, television martial arts, just how to hit and kick for the camera. So I never claimed to be a true martial artist, but I was a competitive gymnast growing up, so.
He got better and better though. Like by the end, Billy was kicking butt.
Yeah. In the beginning, they really didn't want Billy to know how to fight. I can remember one time we had been working with a stunt coordinator, and Haim Saban and some other executives came in and watched. And so I got up and did what I had been taught. And I just remember Haim Saban losing his mind. He got very angry and was screaming at the stunt coordinator, because he was really animate that Billy cannot fight, which never makes sense to me because as soon as I become a Power Ranger, I fight. So it never made sense. But so over the course of Billy's journey on Power Rangers, you did see him grow as a martial artist, which was great for me as an actor to have a character that got to expand his horizons, as they say. But yeah, there's episodes where Jason, the character of Jason, is teaching Billy martial arts, and Billy's frustrated because he's not getting it. So it was a good storyline for me.
Billy got LASIK. He'd have to wear glasses no more.
He got contacts. LASIK didn't exist yet.
It was a major upgrade. Thank you, man. Right here, sir.
Was there ever sort of a moment on the show where you just like do like a line you said or something you had to act out where you just had to stop and sort of go, wow, I just did that, or wow, that just happened? Saying like weird, or was it just so weird, like you had to stop for a second?
A fully sentient multifunctional automaton. How prodigious. That's where I stopped and went, wait, what? What am I talking about?
But Tweety understood. She was like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I said a lot of funny things that I just thought were, when we did the voiceover, when we did ADR, they would give us these lines that we had to fit into what they were doing in the costume. So, the Black Ranger jumps in the door and be like, Zach here, ready to rock, that kind of thing, right? So that's what the animation would be, or the action would be, and I had to fit it into whatever that was. And sometimes the sentences are way too long, and I was like, "There's no way that looks like what I'm saying. That's crazy." And so we would shorten it up. I think one of the things that I had to say was like. In the pilot episode, for some reason in the pilot, the first pilot you guys didn't see, they wanted everybody to know that Zach was a popular character and everybody loved him, and so they had me come into the restaurant saying, "What's up?" I said, "What's up?" to everybody. I came in on a skateboard. At one point, they had me skateboard on the counter, and I was like, "What is going on?" I was like, I would not skateboard. I'm like, what's up? 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 I was like, that's too many what's ups, man. I was like, yeah, it's crazy.
A lot of that power is actually online now. You can piece together a chunk of it now. So.
So, when you use the weapons, were they like really heavy?
So half of the show was Japanese footage from the Sentai version. So I was never in the suit jumping off a building or an explosion. I didn't really hold the weapons very often. They were not heavy, though. I will tell you, I did hold the weapons, but they weren't heavy. They were like, plastic or foam, styrofoam. So they weren't heavy, but I didn't do a lot of stuff with the weapons. It was all transitional stuff. I was really good at taking my helmet off. Yeah.
Right here, blue headband.
Was there like a scene or a stunt that you ever filmed that was really happened, like you watched it?
When you jumped over the armadillo?
The armadillo? That was fun. But I did a stunt where we were on the playground and I had a putty chasing me, so I'm running through the playground. I dive through the chains of a swing where the putty's standing there. The putty ducks, I dive through the chains, I do a flip over the putty, I land in front of them, I kick the putty lands in the swing and hits the putty that's following me, right? So I don't know if you've ever tried to dive through a swing set and do a flip, but it's not the easiest thing to do. And the first time I did it, I dived through, I did the flip, my leg got caught in the chain, I'm hanging upside down, okay? Can we do that again? And so I was like, I didn't hurt myself, thank God, but I did it the second time, and I dived through, I did the flip, I landed, kicked the putty, he went and knocked the putty over that was chasing us. Well, when you watch the TV show, you can't see that I dived through the chains. I mean, it's like the way it was shot, the chain looks like nothing. You see me do the flip, and that's impressive, but I went through the chains. I wanted you to see that I went through the chains. That was not easy. I was like, that was my Jackie Chan moment. So,
For me, I would say in the movie, the 1995 movie, I had to do a stunt where we're fighting the Tengu birds, Tengu warriors, whatever they are, and it's when we first meet Dulcia, and I had to jump on a mini tramp, and they had one of the birds on wires flying towards me. And similar to Walter, I had to hit the trampoline and flip over the bird through the wires. And where I landed, there was a big rock. So I had to make sure I stopped. I had to stick the landing, as we say. So that was really kind of a difficult thing to... I mean, we just talked about how we didn't wear the suit. We just take our helmets off.
I didn't do the movie, so I wasn't there. So
So no, as a civilian, as a person, as Billy, I I don't know. Anyways, it was a great, fun stunt to do, and sort of very technical. Just the timing of them releasing the bird at the right time and me hitting the trampoline at the right time to be able to flip through the wires and then stop. So it was a lot of fun.
But were you in the suit, though?
Not in that take.
John with the blue flannel.
Well, I mean, let's hope that it's not the last, even though they claim that it was the last and that I don't know what they're doing, but, hopefully they keep understanding that there's a reason why we're still here, and hopefully they'll let us continue to entertain you guys in some way. But for me, obviously, for Walter and I to get to go back and do Once and Always, it was great because we started Power Rangers together. We started the franchise, and we got to come back for the 30th anniversary. So to get to work with Walter and Once and Always was amazing, and I had so much fun. To continue on and do Cosmic Fury, which was the 30th season, was also very humbling in a lot of ways. I wish they would have used my character better. I feel like it was a wasted opportunity in some ways, but they paid me a lot of money, so I was there for it. But I mean, they could have done something a little bit more. But hey, Billy got to create the Cosmic Fury powers, the cosmic orbs, and all that. So there was a lot to be said for that, and to be said for the character. But for me, just as the actor, to get to be in the very first season and the very last season is obviously very humbling, and it was a huge honor. So we'll see what happens, though. I'm hoping for more.
So you bring that up. So obviously, I guess there's a new, there's a web series that's getting filmed right now. It's like a shorts. I think it's for the toys, right? For the new toys. And supposedly Disney might be doing something for Disney Plus. But did you guys have any talks since Once and Always came out about possibly come back and doing something else to piggyback off that? Because there was definitely a lot of meat on the bone for that one still. Has there been any discussions at all?
I mean,
Pride Whims?
I don't know if there's been like real official discussion. I think in the very beginning, after Once and Always, because there was a lot of hype, I have to say, I do wish people would pay more attention. I feel like Power Rangers does get a little pushed under the rug more often than it should, because it just really does have such a strong following.
Thanks, Hasbro.
And I don't know. I just wish there would be more, but I haven't had any personal conversations other than like shortly after a few things, but then so many elements were changing. Netflix is dropping it, and they're trying to find a new person to pick it up. In theory, it's Disney, I guess. I don't know, but so we'll see. And they're in theory going to start filming stuff in the United Kingdom. So I don't know. Yeah,
Would be nice. Like Ranger Academy or something. You guys come back and teach, and that'd be kind of cool. I think, who do we have over here? We had, let's go right here. Yeah.
So, once again, kind of play off the first season to the most recent, were there any filmmaking or acting, kind of differences for yourself or what you participated in?
I'm not sure what you're saying, sir.
Like, how,
From a filmmaking or your own acting method, was there any difference from the
Between the pilot and the Once and All, I got 30 years experience. I'm like, I've been acting for 32 years, so I'm like, okay, well, I'm no longer first time actor on a television series. At this point, I've been with SAG since 1995, so 96 maybe. So I've been working with professional actors, and this is all that they do, and to come back and work on a set like with David and on Once and Always, it was cool because it was like, all right, well, I know exactly what I'm doing now, and I'm here, and the primary difference is back in the day we used to shoot with film footage. So we would shoot and we couldn't see what we had done, and they would check the gate and we'll look at the dailies later that day or the next day, and we weren't really able to see the stuff. But on this shoot, like I did the backflip in the juice bar when I'm fighting the putties, and we done it. I'd done the flip I did the backflip, and then they said, "Can we do it again?" And we did it again, and they caught it in slow motion, and I was able to go look at what they just shot. I was like, "Let me see," and they show it black, and I'm like, "Oh, that's cool. It looks good. Right?" So the backflip looks good, man. All right. And so then they said, "Do you want to do it again?" I said, "No, you already got it." So I wasn't able to do that before, but to be able to look at what they just shot and have an idea of what it looked like was really cool.
Right here.
So for the Punky Pig episode, you see in the movies the food fights, I've never lived that. So for you guys to go through that, how was that? Was it like crazy, like as it was the episode? What was it like? Was it just amazing to be able to try to
I mean, it is one of my favorite episodes that we got to film, just because we get to have a literal food fight on camera, and we got to throw food at our crew at the same time, because sometimes, the crew's standing basically where you guys are, and the camera's right there, and we just had to throw towards camera and all that kind of stuff. So it was a lot of fun.
When we came into work that day, everybody was wearing a poncho. We were like, "Oh, oh, y'all guys, y'all ready? Okay. Oh, y'all paying me to do this? This is gonna be fun."
Yeah, but I mean, it is very systematic at the same time, because you can't really do another take. So, we had to be kind of coordinated as to what we were doing, but it was still a lot of fun. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Let's go right here, from front row.
Thank you for everything you've done as Power Rangers and continue to do. What has been the most valuable or profound moments of your years at Power Rangers, or surprising?
We did a live show at Universal Studios, and until we had done the live show, I don't think we realized who we were. That show we did, and it was supposed to be a small show for some executives, and then they're like, there are a lot of people want to come, so we're gonna move it to the Universal Amphitheater, which is where Michael Jackson would do a concert. So it's a huge place, and we did 6 shows in that day. We closed down the park. It was 30,000 people that attended. We closed down the freeway is what we did. The traffic was backed up. It was on international news. The Power Rangers have stopped traffic in Los Angeles. It was a whole thing. And there were celebrities that I admired that were showing up to our show and waiting backstage for us to sign things for their kids. And I think it was the first time that we were like, wow, they came for us. It was crazy.
It was like, what was your question? I mean, for me personally, that was an amazing day at Universal Studios. But just, again, the fact that we're still here 30-some years later, I don't want to keep adding. I'm going to stop at 30, just so you know. So from now on, even if it's year 40, I'm going to say 30, because it means we're getting up there. I mean, you said you were 40, mid-40s?
Yeah, mid. We'll go mid.
So I was like, wow, you started when you were watching Power Rangers when you were 20.
Fifth grade. Fifth grade.
Fifth grade. No, I'm just trying to act like I'm younger.
I mean,
that's
I'll
all.
take it, yeah. I was 2.
You were 2, okay. So just the fact that we continue to get to come out, and that we get to continue to meet people such as yourselves, and we do get to hear the amazing stories about how Power Rangers has affected so many people's lives. It truly has had such a profound effect on our lives. Certainly makes me want to be such a better person, because I would hate to ever disappoint anybody, in terms of, because you guys put us on this pedestal, so I don't want to ever ruin that for you. But it's just been such an awesome, humbling experience for us. And next weekend I'll be in Ecuador, so it's just crazy that we travel around the world and we get to meet so many awesome people in here. So many amazing things. It's great.
And you guys used to be short. I can't believe how many people walk up to me and I'm like,
They're like
dang,
6'5".
dude. I'm like, I used to be taller than you. You were 2, but it's okay. It's all right.
Yeah, the young lady in the excellent dragon shield dress right here.
Eye Guy for me was my favorite monster that we got to fight. It's pretty scary.
I got was kind of wild. Yeah. You know what? Pudgy Pig was kind of crazy too. Pudgy Pig, because he was like the pig with the Roman helmet and the arms coming out of his mouth, and it was kind of crazy. A friend of ours who was a stunt guy, his name was Eric Betts. He wore the costume, and I just remember the day he was shooting. And he's got a lot of energy anyway, but just the whole thing with him going. I thought that was crazy.
It's crazy. And so many of the monster designs are like, they're still kicking around. You still get Eye Guy and Pudgy Pigs in the games and stuff, and they're popping up. It's crazy. So, oh, sorry. Gentlemen, back to the Superman suit. I missed you. Sorry about that.
I think it's so cool. I'm like, oh my gosh, everybody's like going and like they're doing team ups. So like, I saw a video where a bunch of people went in and they were all the Power Rangers that gathered together and they had the Pink Ranger lure somebody in, and then like they were in the bushes and the bushes disappeared and it was like the whole Power Ranger again, and they're like, gah, 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 gah. And I'm like, oh my god. And I saw another one where the Power Rangers were getting beat up by this one super, I don't know, there was a powerful person, and the Ninja Turtles rode up, jumped out of the van, and came and saved all the Power Rangers. I'm like, I just think that is such a cool thing, and I love the fact that it's introducing Power Rangers to a new generation, so that's awesome too.
I was going to say last weekend I was in Atlanta, and I had at least 4, like 10, 12, I think one person was 16, person come up to me and be like, oh my God, you guys are in Fortnite. This is so awesome. I love you so much. And I was like, it's really cool that it does help bring another generation to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It's again, a huge honor, but we get no money from it, just so you know.
You can play as Walter and take out Eminem. Never thought I would ever say that. So, gentleman right here on the end.
Hi guys. First, it's super cool to talk to you. So, hi, I'm Sean. You guys were my favorite superheroes as a kid, continue to be to this day. Curious, what do you think Zach's favorite superhero will be? And what is Walter's favorite superhero? And what do you think Billy's superhero would be? And what is David's favorite superhero?
Well, Walter's favorite superhero is Superman. That's like, I always wanted to be Superman when I was a kid. I think Zach's favorite superhero would probably be Spider-Man. I think Spider-Man, yeah.
I mean, for Billy, it's either going to be like Bruce Wayne or like Batman, whatever, or Iron Man. I think he kind of is right along in line with them. He's smarter than both of them put together, but I'm just saying. For David, my superhero, and I don't know if it's a true superhero, was Underdog. I used to that was my cartoon, man.
Excellent deep cut on Underdog. Let's go this back here over in the gentleman in the white. I can't see what you're wearing. I'm sorry, but is it? Oh, there we go.
No, I think that in the very beginning of the show, and they wanted us to be martial artists, and it was inspiring the kids because we inspired kids to be martial artists. There's a lot of nerds walking around that will kick your butt. I'm just saying, because they're like, I grew up wanting to be a Power Ranger. I studied martial arts, and I think that's amazing. I think a lot of the other cast, some of them were very talented. Some, like, I know the Sudarso brothers are super talented martial artists and gymnasts, and Hector David, he was really good. And I know a lot of them that are great martial artists, but I think the show itself changed its way. I think they said, one, they didn't want the character actors to be as popular as we were. Because they decided they just wanted to make the toys popular. So let's make it more about the suits and the toys and not so much about the actors. So I think that was a lesson they learned when we tried to negotiate the contract. So I think that's what happened, and that's why they're not seeking out people that are major martial artists.
Yeah, I will say too, like, for a long time I would see the casting breakdowns for all the seasons of Power Rangers, and I used to get really angry at the casting director because she would put no acting experience needed. So they were just like really, at times, just trying to fill slots, and it was kind of frustrating to see. But I certainly think it helps, and should have been, like, for us, our casting notice said martial arts gymnastics dancer. So you certainly had to have that, and I think it helps sell the show much better. Just even by the way that we walk or carry ourselves, because we have those skills, you hold yourself differently. So just that alone helps your character in so many ways. So I don't know. Here we are, 30 years later.
Okay, we got time for one more. So I'm gonna apologize. So do we have any little? You've been sitting here with your hand for a while, so you're right in the front. So and you're all dressed up. So
My question is, what is your favorite time with JDF?
Favorite time with JDF? We had lots of moments. I think my best memory of something we did together is when we were riding the ATVs for an episode of Power Rangers, and we were Austin and I don't know if you were out there when we were riding the ATVs. We were all riding the ATVs, and they're telling us stay under 50 miles an hour, and we're riding in circles. We're like vroom, vroom, right around the parking lot on these ATVs, and it's exciting for us because we're like, we haven't really rode these before. This is cool, four-wheelers. This is awesome. And then JDF comes out, and he jumps on it, and he goes crazy and goes all up into the jungle, and he's riding through these bushes, and then he goes up a hill, and you see him catch air, and he disappears, and we're like, oh my gosh, is he hurt? We didn't know what was going on. All of a sudden he comes out and he's like, hey guys, and we're like, we take off with him. So now we're all running through the bushes and jumping around, and it was a lot of fun. So I just remember that moment being a moment where I was like, this guy doesn't necessarily follow the rules, and it seems to be okay. I think I'm gonna not follow the rules right now too, so that was fun.
Jason was a very bad boy. I will say there was an episode where we had to ride horses. The horse wranglers were very adamant, do not kick your horses, do not swat your horses. What does Jason do? Hi-ya, hi-ya. And the horse takes off. He was just wild. I have a lot of great memories with Jason. I will say one that Amy Jo has brought up recently is that when we were on Power Rangers in our first season, Jason bought a limousine. And because he was like big time actor now. So he had his own limo, and he would hire our security guard named Junior to be his chauffeur and drive him around. And Jason lived in an apartment building, and in California, your parking is underneath the building, whatever. And so you would go down there, and you'd just see this giant limo. And I'd be like, what are you doing? You're so crazy. It's embarrassing. It was really embarrassing. But he was just funny. I would say out of all of us, he was probably the biggest practical joker. He did make me eat a fly once. If you haven't heard the fly story, I was stuck on set working, 12, 15-hour days. Couldn't get off set for whatever reason. I was starving, and he, said, oh, don't worry, buddy. I'll make you a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And I was like, okay, cool, thanks. And he brought it back, and I ate it, and I could just see him over in the corner just laughing, and some of the crew was laughing with him. And I was like, what's so funny? He's like, I put a fly in your sandwich. So that's your hero. That is the guy you guys idolize. I'm just kidding. Yes.
we can sneak in one more quick one. You're jumping up and down back there in the pool t-shirt. So.
I had to ask you personally how it is to have gay representation and once and always versus what you went through on set in the early years.
You talking to me? Sorry. What does it mean to have gay representation in Power Rangers? Yeah, I mean, the 90s were obviously a different time that we lived in, unfortunately, and, you really wasn't cool. Still, for some people, it might not be, but, it wasn't easy or cool to be a gay person. It was really difficult, and, it was tough for me at times, obviously, on set. For some of you that know the story, there was just things that were said about me. One of our producers actually did sort of a witch hunt and asked crew members and cast members, called them into his office and said, you need to tell me, is David Yost gay, and all that kind of stuff. So when I heard that, it was really upsetting for me. So to come all these years later and to have a gay character in the Power Ranger franchise is awesome. It just shows how far we've come. And I know that it helps a lot of kids that are growing up that don't have representation. I think the one thing that was great about Mighty Morphin Power Rangers is that we were so diverse and we could show that we all got along. You know, everybody was represented in some way. So I think Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from the beginning was groundbreaking in so many ways for the time that we lived in. And I think we need more of it still. It's crazy to me to think that how divided we are when there's such an innocence to Mighty Morphin and this group of 6 people that were all coming from all different places and just showing that you could be friends. So, I mean, I'm proud of everything and how far it's come. So hopefully the fact that 30 years later, you know, they had a gay character was very helpful to a lot of people.
Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for coming out. Jennifer Power Rangers.